Plastic Aspect Warriors!
Yeah, I think we're all very excited about that. Yeah. Singularly.
Blindsided.
Above all the other things.
Yeah.
Finally, after years and years and years and years and years of waiting, I mean, admittedly, it's only Howling Banshees at the moment, which do suck in the game currently. But still,
let's take it one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Finally, plastic, non-fail-cast Aspect Warriors.
But will they do warp spiders?
Yes.
Oh, I really hope so. Because
Yes,
those models
they will.
are.
They are the oldest.
They're
aren't
older than. I think they might be older than me. No, definitely not older than you, Jamie. But they're definitely older than me.
No. I remember them well.
I
when
don't
they
think
first
Rogue
came out.
Trader is older than Jamie.
Oh dear.
Opening a can of worms
cheers,
now.
cheers for that, Jack.
Yeah.
Birthday in a few weeks. Thanks.
So I just had mine. So. Okay, so yeah, obviously, I'm in a good mood.
Yeah.
We've had the Nova reveals. So, purpose of this video, we're going to go through them, have a look at them, and obviously give our reaction.
Mm-hmm.
For myself personally, basically affects my two main armies. So yeah, pretty good for me. Jamie, do you want to start it off? You can run.
Just so
run
people
through.
know, I have actually got my phone down here. Richard isn't just staring at my groin. So,
Not today.
first one on the list then is Psychic Awakening. Well, what's that all about?
An awakening of psychic, as it were.
Yeah.
I think so. They're obviously pushing the narrative forward here. It's going to be epic proportions, campaigns, books, every army. I noticed they did put up a little image with a load of army faction symbols on, and then quickly updated it because they missed a few off, such as Space and Admech. But yeah, so they're saying that everyone is going to get new rules and possibly new models.
Yeah.
Even if it's
But
just one.
what I quite like in it is they've also hinted that there's going to be a revisiting of old models and potentially old characters as well.
Yeah.
Because obviously you've got armies like the Drakari that have got a wealth of characters that have either lost rules, lost models, just not been.
Yeah.
Vex, Decrepitator, Duke Sliscus, could go
But
on.
they were awesome.
They were absolutely awesome. So
The Chapter House Curse, I believe it's known.
yes.
Mm.
Yes, sadly. So I think that's very positive on the thing, because whilst everyone's enjoying the new releases, I think there is still some outcry for some of our old stuff. Like we're all retro heads.
Yeah, more or less.
Realistically, most
Even
people that play the
youth on the
game.
end.
Yeah.
Yeah, even I've been playing 40k for 18 years. So yeah.
When did you start?
When I was like 10.
Yeah. Fair play.
Yeah.
Fair play. So yeah.
So the crack addiction kicked in early. I was a crack baby, if you will.
So we've had a little while since the first call, since the last big story update. So obviously since your Dark Imperium and the Rift. So obviously this is going to be the next step. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing what they do with it. GW used to be so good with putting out the global campaigns, like the Eye of Terror. That is one thing that hasn't really been there so much recently.
Vigilus didn't really hit that note, did it?
No.
Yeah, it was more of a sort of participate, if you like. We're just we'll take a small tally of games, but it wasn't the same kind of big reveal as they had with the sort of ICAR 4 and Eye of Terror and whatnot that they had, as you said.
Yeah, so I think that for all of the teeth gnashing and the worrying that particularly the Facebook community had, I think it's this one particularly looks positive, and I'd had a few people drop hints to me that it's something to really look forward to rather than to worry about, and I think that's definitely looking that way.
I think a lot of people feel that it's been very marine centric for the last
years. With good reason, to be fair.
Exactly. So, and I don't know what Games Workshop's take on things are. A lot of armies have got a lot of their models in plastic. Drakari's almost completely plastic.
Just grotesques and stuff, yeah.
So, and they probably, they're all fairly new models, so without revisiting them too much, it would be good for players to just get a couple of new units, maybe a couple of fine cast conversions, just something to give people something to be interested in. And I think that's what they need to focus on now, because it's hard to see what new armies could be dropped in the near future.
Exodites.
Oh yeah, that would be fantastic.
No, I want Corsairs back.
Elves on dinosaurs. The best.
Okay, so the next bit.
Unlock.
Next bit.
Oh, if I could just put one more thing into
Go.
consideration of Psychic Awakening. I personally was a little bit concerned that they were just basically going to do 40k endless spells.
As were a lot of people, I think.
Watch this space.
Exactly. They've not definitively said that that's not what's happening. So I do hope that this isn't a sort of storm in a teacup or a fart in an elevator, as they say. And it's basically just we get all hot and heavy, and then suddenly there's like, right, here's one sort of endless spell for everyone. Because with the Age of Sigmar Khorne stuff, just because a race in 40k doesn't have psychic powers doesn't mean that they're not going to get something for it, which is good on the one hand, but also obviously are we all just going to basically be expected to buy some extra endless spells for all our armies because they're so good that you'd be hobbling yourself not to use them.
The thing is, with the endless spells, whilst I'm not a massive Age of Sigmar player, the models themselves, some of them are awesome, some of them look great. The Slanesh ones look amazing.
Yeah.
But it's actually the game mechanics that I don't like on it, and that's what does concern me, and that did worry me a bit in the prelude of this that it was going to be.
Yeah. But I mean, no sign of that yet, so we'll see.
No.
We'll see.
Touch wood.
I'm going to add something on the end there as well, because I have read that that they are getting psychic upgrades for every army, which is interesting for armies such as Tau, Black Templars, Admech. So interesting to see what they do there. Yeah, Black Templars as well. It's unclear at this stage. Are they going to get put into the Imperial Fist supplement? Are they going to be in their own supplement? Who knows? Right.
So Jamie, the important one.
Oh no, we'll come to that in due course. But I think we should just.
Oh no, this is the important.
Yeah,
this is the important one.
Plastic Asprey Warriors are definitely the important one.
What do you think?
I absolutely love it. I genuinely didn't think that the Aspect Warriors on the most part needed a redesign.
Yeah.
I think the aesthetic of them, spot on. Howling Banshees, Striking Scorpions, the bulk of them, that it is spot on. It's just they needed a resculpt. A lot of them just really showing their age now. And Striking Scorpions are one that they've had really good models. It's just the current ones look so goofy.
Really?
Like the poses.
I love the current Striking Scorpions. I think they're great. I bought some ones that some very nice, kindly person had actually painted well on eBay, and they look awesome. But yeah, I mean, you could always stand to sort of have a few more poses and make them a little bit more dynamic, I suppose.
Yeah, and I think for the bulk of the Aspect Warriors, they've had the same models for so long. The Warp Spiders in particular, we mentioned earlier, just like it's two poses, and that is it. And that for me is very hard when you've got however many Space Marine kits that they've dropped just this year already that are so posable, so adaptable, and it's just it's a bit galling that such good units and such fun units are well, almost as old as Jamie, and that kind of that says it all for me.
Running theme of today, people.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
It's alright, I'll take it on the chin.
And I mean, if you take, for example, some of the new Phobos Marines and the Reavers, you've got that Reaver model where he's firing a grappling hook. I mean, though incredibly
which
impractical.
never survives transport anywhere.
I mean, it's a lovely sculpt, and you think what you could do with sort of you apply that sort of aesthetic imagination.
With the Warp Spiders monofilaments. So.
Yeah. Because they do smoke grenades and things with the smoke coming out, don't they? Yeah. So sort of them hosing someone down with some nets of monofilament mesh would be
Mandy blasters.
And that's the thing. I think is they were so due just an update. The aesthetic is bang on. It's just things like the Shining Spears are still such old models.
They've
updated the jet bikes, updated the characters on jet bikes, but unfortunately the spears were pushed to the side.
I'm thinking about how many Shining Spears must have sold in the last 12 months.
Exactly.
Yeah, was that an oversight?
Well, Dark Reapers.
But I do wonder what the angle on it is. Obviously, they give the people what they want, but at the same time, is it going to be a box of 5? Is it going to be a box of 6? Is it going to be a box of 10? Probably 5, I would say.
Probably I would have thought 5.
option to turn one into an Exarch.
I would have thought it would probably be somewhat similar to the Dire Avenger box and the Harlequin Troop box.
Yeah.
So you have your options inside, and then so you could make 2 boxes or get a squad of 10 with an Exarch comfortably. And
at the risk of straying into wishlisting territory, it would be very nice if each of these aspects were to be accompanied by a certain lord, perhaps of the Phoenix variety.
So I've got a grossly swollen helmet and a, and a
do you want to rephrase that, Joe? Mate?
No, I think I'm going to stick with it.
And Jane Czar's just appalling 80s hairdo.
So bad.
Oh, Jane Czar's awesome.
So bad.
You do some serious damage with that metal model.
Yes, if you get cross.
Including to yourself.
It's better than an attack bike, certainly.
But what I found quite interesting on the aspects, actually, the video for the Psychic Awakening is right at the end of it, where she opens a book, and there's an Eldar rune pops out.
There is an Eldar rune
there.
Yes.
Is the rune of Morai Heg.
Oh, good knowledge,
Which is the Howling Banshee symbol.
Right.
So that's obviously going to be hand in hand. So whether we're just going to get Banshees first, and then they're going to slowly drip feed us the other aspects.
Most likely, I think.
That is some next level lore knowledge.
I love my Eldar.
Very good.
The other thing about the aspects is with the sales angle, what options are they going to have? Because we've seen a Howling Banshee that, frankly, if you painted it in the same scheme as the current Banshees, from a distance, you wouldn't be able to tell any different. But surely they're going to come with more weapon options than what they have. Maybe the Exarch options are going to become squad options, mirror swords,
mirror blades, and executioners.
Executioners on a unit
could be very useful, because that would solve the Howling Banshee's perennial problem, which is wounding things.
And I think that's probably what we'll see. We'll see Exarch options.
That would be nice.
Turning into squad
I mean, in terms of, correct me if I'm wrong, Rich. You're clearly the expert here, but I honestly can't recall a time when Howling Banshees have not had the attack profile, more or less, than what they've got at the moment.
It's always been
more or less hitting on 3s, wounding anything they actually want to kill on 5s, with sort of 1 or maybe 2 attacks. And it's just always been underwhelming. It was underwhelming in 4th edition.
They were all right in 4th, and for the most part...
The Warhound is here today.
The mascot's here again.
You can come on camera.
Yeah, in 4th they were all right, because you had the old rules for power weapons. So even a unit of Space Marines, you'd chop through, because you'd just completely ignore their armour. But particularly now in 8th, the -3 is good, but it's not enough for a lot of it, because, as you say, even with the updated wound chart now, they're still on 5s for most of it, and with the exception of using Doom, you can't say even Doom's not reliable for on 5s. But
I mean, you could argue with their -1 to hit in close combat, they're more of a tarp hitting unit. You can combo that with a couple of sort of psychic powers as well. But even so, I'd say that that's not really their fluff.
Their forte, and definitely not their fluff. But then that's much the same with witches now that they're seen with the Shardnets and seen as a tarp hit unit, as opposed to what was a kind of gladiatorial chopping unit, basically. So
it's a nice rule to have in there, but it shouldn't be their only trick in the book.
No, it should be a little feather in their cap.
Something like a
helmet.
Something like the old Furious Charge rule, or something like that, +1 strength on the charge. Something like that, I think, would do the trick. So we'll see. Again, we're wish listing now, so we'll hold fire and
Should we see what's next on the list?
Right.
I know what's next on the list.
But you said that this is the big one, so you can't make too much.
No. This is the other one.
And this is the other big one. Right.
Yeah.
So
next one.
Over to you, Richard.
So the big standout, or second big standout, Emo Shrike.
Oh god, that fringe.
Emo Shrike.
Oh, god.
Firstly, I am a Raven Guard player, so straight away this makes me very happy.
You need to work on the fringe.
I need to work on the fringe. I used to have it when I was about 17.
This is it. We all had our Shrike phase, didn't we?
All had our Shrike phase.
You've got a bit too much sun on your face in China as well. So,
yeah, I'm a bit brown.
Yeah,
a bit brown.
Need to go pale.
Model itself seems to be dividing opinion quite a lot online. A lot of people are quite angry about the hair, actually, about Everyone knows Raven Guard are emo Marines. It's been a meme. It's been a joke for ages.
And
but
Korax get a load of grief for the hair when he first got a model.
Exactly.
Sure
and that model is beautiful.
Mm.
That model is stunning.
That is nice. That is with the pistol outstretched and he's shooting trophy
in
the face.
I was gonna say, even with the with this model, with the Shrike model, actually there is a few there's a few bits that harken back to that model. The pistol, retractable claws.
He's got the little heel claws as well, hasn't he?
Yes,
Which I like. Those are nice.
I really like this model. The only thing that gripes me slightly is the base. I'm not a massive fan of the whole balancing.
Also, he's not exactly going to be easy to block line of sight to, is he?
No.
Doesn't go along with his kind of stealthy law image, does it? He's just standing on top of basically got a small skyscraper underneath his feet, so everyone on the battlefield can draw a line at his very, very not helmeted head.
Marines.
Yeah. I think that's the thing. I do like the model for the most part. I do have a personal bugbear of anyone who's not got a helmet on. I think it's stupid.
But there is a hint in the release that it might be a interchangeable head.
If he gets a beaky interchangeable head, brilliant.
He's got the beaky strapped to the belt, hasn't he?
Yes, he has.
Possibly could get option for the helmet.
Yeah, they have referenced in the thing that it's their first beaky Primaris, so
first of many.
We'll see. Although the Corsaro and Tigurius don't have any options, they're just mono build.
Yeah.
But let's face it, if needs be, we can chop it up. But I personally will be keeping the hair. I think it's brilliant to see a Space Marine that hasn't got a buzz cut or a bald head. I like it. I
think this will be a harbinger for new and exciting Marine hairdos.
Exactly.
Well, Raven Guard will almost inevitably get an upgrade sprue like the White Scars have recently. So more emo to come.
Although no afros for the Salamanders, I think that would be taking things a little bit too far.
Okay, so
moving swiftly on.
so obviously that's kind of hinting that Raven Guard are probably going to be the next supplement. We've already seen the Iron Hands character,
isn't it? Yeah, so I've heard most recent rumours that Salamanders and Imperial Fists are up next, but you never know what to expect these days. So
exactly.
So Hobbit stuff, nice house.
We don't care about that.
No.
Warcry, lovely models. Don't know much about it.
Beautiful models. Not had a chance to try it yet.
No. Skeleton things in Age of Sigmar.
Ossiarchs, are they? Is that what they call
Yeah, they are really nice models, to be fair.
I'm so jealous of Age of Sigmar players for the number of really amazing new armies that have come out in the last few years.
The Edenet Deepkin nearly
nearly broke you.
Then we come to Warhammer Legends, which I'm bittersweet about.
Yeah, agreed.
I think it's great that they are finally saying, well, you know what, all these models we've sold you over the years, we're actually going to update the points costs for them and keep them playable. Useful for me because that's a fair chunk of my
most of your collection. Yeah.
They do, however, say that this will be the final update they're giving them, and after they've done this, no more points changes ever. Which I think it's a shame, but I think it's also a bit fair because they can't keep supporting old models that they don't even sell anymore forever. And
I think there is, whilst again, like you, I've got a lot of models that weren't usable and that are fairly outdated now. I do like trying to use those models, but actually I do think that there needs to come a time that you just let something die off. Well, you just let something go.
Primaris Marines 5 years from now.
I'm sure. I'm genuinely sure. I'm sure. Certainly, with them dropping this, I think that come the next Space Marine Codex, that the normal Marines will just be pushed down into the Warhammer Legends.
That's it. The Primaris will have their transport options, their assault options, their range options, maybe drop pods. So
that would be nice.
I'd be gutted if Space Marines lost drop pods.
To reference back to the Shrike model, that is the first Primaris model with a proper jump pack.
Indeed, yes.
And the first non-power sword close combat weapons for a Primaris model.
Really?
Yes.
Power fists. on the Imperial Fist upgrades.
Yeah. but still, it's a proper.
Don't try and play me at Marine. 60 Eldar.
Stick in your Eldar box.
Imperial Fist I can anyway.
Yeah, they had some weird little scanner thing on the back of their backpack, which I think was aesthetic, but it was really cool.
Yeah. But I think, with the Warhammer Legends, I think it's probably... It is time to kill off some of the stuff. I've got converted Trueborn with blasters that obviously I've not been able to use for a while now. And it was getting a bit silly with some of the index choices. So I think it's just streamlining things down and I think for narrative, fine, you can use it. Realistically, you can do that anyway if it's full open play. But just from the competitive side of it just cleans everything up. Most tournaments say no index choices now anyway.
Right. So and I guess we're 2 years in now. A lot of points did get adjusted for things. I mean, I've been looking at White Scars recently. The bike options such as command bikers, librarians on bikes, these sort of things, very overcosted now. If they get a drop more in line of what things are now, I can't see that ever drastically changing. And then of course war gear options can still go up and down. So I think it's fair.
I don't think they'll change dramatically because, as I say again, as they hint in the article, they're aiming it not at competitive play.
Exactly.
So realistically, your points, if they're slightly on the high side, people aren't going to want to take them for tournament armies anyway, unless they're narrative players in a tournament, and then they're not really going to care about 20 points.
Happy sitting in the bottom 5 and having a good time.
That's
there's nothing wrong
my
with that.
favourite place to be.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, so
a couple of things left then. Angels of Death, the animated series.
Which I know nothing about.
Yeah, no, me neither.
There was a guy, we watched a bit of Hell's Reach together, didn't we? I can't remember his name, sorry. But very talented chap.
Which was really good, but it just ruined it. The voice, the guy who's the voice of Helbrecht is just If you're watching, I'm really sorry. I don't mean to be offensive, but it was just the voice is just not what you imagine coming out of a sort of a Space Marine's enormous gene-enhanced throat.
Give us an idea of what it sounded like, Charlie. Actually.
Well, it's Helbrecht, isn't it? He's like, Helbrecht, are you doing the right thing? You must deploy to the planet and defeat the Xenos. It's like, no, not really. That's not what I had in mind. You've ruined it. Now I can't read the book either because I'll read it in his voice. But no, the animation's amazing. Although
I should just add in there that all of the voice excerpts were taken from the audiobook, I believe. So
really?
From the GW.
So definitely don't get the audible version.
Oh no, gosh. Yeah, I was just thinking it'll be read by someone sensible.
So what he did was he took all of that and then he added animation to it in his own time, did a fantastic job, and then GW saw it and said,
we'll have that.
We'll have that.
Yeah.
So now he's working on Angels of Death, Blood Angels animated series. And
the question is it going to be as good as those 4 Astartes animated shorts on YouTube at the moment? My instinct is no, because they're so good, so cool.
I take it from the opposite angle. Is it going to be better than the Ultramarines movie?
Oh God! No, I've forgotten about that. Please.
The cutscenes in Dawn of War were better than the Ultramarines movie.
Indrik Boreal was better than the Ultramarines movie.
We don't talk of him.
No. Oh God. Anyway, yes. Sorry, that's a conversation
back
on
time.
Yeah.
It was Sean Pertwee, wasn't it? Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. Pertwee, John Hurt, and
John Hurt was in the Ultramarines movie.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love it.
And Terence Stamp as well.
Wow.
To name a few.
Have we got anything else?
No, and sorry, just the Angels of Death update, just to actually talk about what it was. There's a few stills on there of a human-looking ship commander, but no more Space Marine stuff. I think that's it, isn't it?
I think so. Apart from maybe the bit that you're most excited about.
So exciting. Sisters of Battle!
Oh, yes. How do we nearly miss that?
Oh, we did it. We did it. That was never going to be.
No, I'm so excited.
Very nice.
That's quite exciting.
He's that excited.
Yeah, Sister Battle. I've been saying for the last decade pretty much that I'm not going to touch Sisters of Battle until they drop some good plastics, and now it's almost here.
About as long as I've been saying that I'm not going to buy any new Aspect Warriors until they drop new plastics.
Yeah, they are listening to the people.
They are. doesn't mean you're going to be having to remortgage your house and.
It's fine. I've done it before. I'll do it again. it's worth
maybe
it
maybe we're going to set up a Patreon account to make sure that Jamie continues to eat.
He's going to get progressively thinner.
With his Adeptus Sororitas addiction,
I've already got the colour scheme in mind. I've already got the paint, in fact.
What's the colour scheme going to be?
Eidolon purple.
Ooh,
over a silvery base.
Nice. Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah. So, and in about 20 years it'll be painted.
Yeah.
So what do you feel about the models then? Because obviously this is they've dropped a few previous, just a few hints.
Yeah.
But these have been some of the kind of first proper actual painted models rather than just mock-ups. And
they've dropped an image of an army box which will have 25 models, we don't know what, and a limited edition codex, and it's bound to be extremely
We do know
pricey.
one of the models in the 25 model box set.
Oh, do we?
The Sister Superior.
Yeah. Right, okay, and she's the sort of...
she's the one with the sort
divided
of...
opinion, hasn't she?
I think she looks... I think it's a good look.
Yeah,
she's got to be a Sister Superior still in your 30s, I guess.
Yeah. She's got a power rapier, which I think is quite cool.
To be fair, I'm impressed if anyone in the 41st millennium lives until they're 30. Yeah. That alone is that alone is impressive.
Every guardsman worth infinitely less than the weapon they carry.
Indeed. And then the new Seraphim, which look lovely.
Very Seraphim. Damned flying bases.
The Insector ones, yes.
Embrace it. Embrace it. Because the models are beautiful. Particularly the jump packs, that's what really struck out to me on those models. They look
following after the Gemini Superior from the Celestine box set, which was what we all knew was going to happen.
Exactly. They set the bar very high and they've delivered.
They have smashed it.
What's she called? Medicae Superior? Is that what they're called? A bit confused on that one because she's got a vast scenic base, which is amazing, but is that going to work practically in game terms? It's like a 60mm base.
60mm base?
I can't really tell from the image, but it's huge. Yeah.
I thought it was a 40.
We'll have to do an unboxing, won't we?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yes.
Jamie, make sure you pre-order it.
Penitent Engine as well?
Yes.
Penitent Engine is amazing.
Only the Penitent Engine will pass.
The Penitent Engine with a bloke in it this time rather than a blindfolded
I've
woman.
seen the online nerd rage about this, but the original Penitent Engine had a male and female pilot as well, I believe. So I don't know what the rage is about. It's nothing new.
Internet.
The internet's getting angry about the lack of representation in a 40k model. Ah, look at us! Progressive community all of a sudden. This is nice. Female Space Marines, let's go all the way. We go.
No.
Let's not go nuts.
So Sisters, you've heard it here first. They will be added to the channel in several years' time. When Jamie's actually had chance to build and paint.
Yes.
I'm not sure if there's anything new in the images apart from what we've mentioned, is there?
I don't think so.
No, I think all the weapon options currently look to be somewhat the same.
Yeah, some painted things we haven't seen before. So the previews have been pretty major from this. There were 2 screen captures we saw.
Oh yes.
Now is she Repentia Superior? Was that her name? The one with the double whips.
Yeah.
That's the amazing one. I love it.
It's quite Slaneshi though, isn't it? Those whips.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
And you are going to paint her purple.
Yeah. And why should they showed the sisters Repentia though, didn't they? There was the
there was a
Repentia,
new picture.
They've moved away. I think we might have seen this before. They've moved away from the old sort of tits and teeth kind of approach.
Yeah, the old dominatrix.
Yeah,
shorts and plugs.
Yeah, which I also thought was a little bit silly. I do like the new look. If I'm honest, they look a bit more kind of like determined, gritty, kind of.
A
bit more appropriate for the
that's
grim darkness of the 41st millennium.
Yeah. But then Games Workshop could go in that way anyway, with the exception of the Fiends. Most of the Slanesh range have brought back in. Yes, the Fiends are very booby.
Yes.
About 10 of them for a start.
Right.
But
we've taken it so far.
Yeah. The Fiends have gone the complete opposite way. Everything else has covered up. The Demonettes are wearing corsets
so they're all
now.
PG-13 now.
Yes. Apart from Fiends. But that's kind of the way GW's going in it. They want to make it a bit more
broad appeal.
Yeah.
Not unreasonable.
And I love that.
Child friendly.
Can't do nakedness, death,
but
pain,
utter slaughter and genocide.
But that's a broader societal trend, really, isn't it? Rather than just Games Workshop. If you watch any sort of 12 rated spy or thriller film with horrendous violence, but no, we can't.